Hi, my name is Mason Washer, and I'm the Principal Audio Production Engineering Resources Administrative Services Supervisor at the Scavengers Network, and I'm here today to talk about audio. A lot of people have asked me, now Mason, how do you make an audio production engineering? And today we're going to talk about 7 things you can do to improve your audio engineering production making without spending any money. Let's go. Now, if you are beginning your audio production engineering making journey, you're going to need to know some very basic things. I promise the whole video is not going to be about tech. I'm not going to try and sell you on any gear because gear doesn't make audio, and we'll get into that. If you're already an expert production audio engineer management person, you can just skip ahead to this timestamp in the video. Otherwise, let's begin with the basics. To make and do an audio production engineering project, the first thing you need is obviously a microphone. Now, this is the EV RE320 RTX 2080 by NVIDIA, and you can really make do with any microphone that you find lying around because, again, the tech doesn't make the audio, your mouth does. So, while this looks like a fancy microphone, it's actually really cheap. Just get your dad to buy one for you, and then you'll have it for free. So let's go over a checklist. Microphone, a cable to plug it into. But what do you plug the other end of the cable into? Well, that can vary. And we'll get into that later. But first, let's talk about the important steps to take before ever plugging your microphone in. The first thing to take into consideration, and this is one a lot of newbies miss, is lighting. You wouldn't want to watch a video with bad video, and you don't want to listen to audio with bad lighting. So you can see here, I'm just lit by a single light bulb, and there's an awful glare on my face. It's blaring into the camera. This is no good. But I want to show you what happens when we step into good lighting and what happens to the quality of our audio production that we're creating. See this? Much better. Now, I am using a fairly standard 3-light setup in the back with one extra boom light in the front. You'll notice it's not on a boom arm, but it's called a boom light because it booms into the back or the front of your video. It helps create the 3-dimensional space. That's really important, especially if you want to create audio dramas. So lighting is the first thing to take into consideration. The next important thing to consider is what you're wearing. Because remember, the tech doesn't make the audio, your mouth does. So, you want your mouth to have as much blood in it as possible. Now, I know what you're thinking, blood in my mouth? Ew. But no, I mean blood inside of the skin of your mouth. You need your voice box to be flush with blood, which is why I highly recommend, and this is the only piece of tech I'll give you a recommendation on, these pants. These pants, as you'll notice, have a nice lace down the side. This lace allows you to cinch your pants up tightly, and that restricts the blood flow in your legs, causing the blood to stay in your upper body, in your torso, in your voice box, and your lips, which is what you need to make good audio. Remember, the tech doesn't make the audio, your mouth does. And for your mouth to work, you need a lot of blood in it. Make sure you tighten them up really good. Mine are a little loose right now because I'm doing a lot of walking around. But when I'm recording, I cinch them up really tight. By the end of your recording session, your feet should be gray. And that's how you know you've gotten the best audio out of your body as you possibly can. And wear a loose-fitting t-shirt and drink plenty of hot water. So now that we've tackled lighting and we've tackled clothing, we're ready to record some audio. So, we're gonna need the microphone we talked about earlier and the cable to plug it into. You'll notice that the microphone has 3 pins in the back. This is an XLR microphone. And you'll notice my cable also has 3 pins in it for the pins on the microphone to go to. Now, don't let the name confuse you. XLR does not mean cross, right, left. Rather, each pin carries 1/3 of the audio signal, which means that if you're in a pinch and you can get away with lower quality, you can use a microphone that only has 2 pins or even 1. But remember, you'll only be able to get 33% with 1 pin or 66% with 2 pins of the overall audio quality. So I'm going to go ahead and plug the 3 pins in each together. Now I have a microphone attached to a cable. You'll notice the cable, in my case, goes all the way down this boom arm and connects to this rack of equipment. Now, you don't need a rack of equipment, but I bet you have something that you can use. Let me show you. So I have the microphone, and when I speak into it here, the audio will travel down the cable in the boom arm over here where it joins into the rack, and I can't get the camera down there so I can't show you, but it connects to this high visibility audio cable. And that audio cable goes on a very special journey. By the way, a pro tip, when you set this up at your place, use a didgeridoo over the door to prevent your audio cable from getting pinched and causing bad audio. So if we follow the cable, you'll notice that it heads outside into my backyard, and there's a very special reason for that. You see, I have it hooked up to my 1995 Toyota Takuma, which my dad bought me. But you can use any model Takuma your dad purchases for you. So you'll notice our cable goes in right over there. And if we just get inside the truck for a moment, I can show you the settings. So here, we are inside our 1995 Toyota Takuma. And again, it doesn't matter. I just really like these older models because I prefer the analog controls. You can debate for hours and years or even days about how analog versus digital controls work. I find the analog ones are good, even if sometimes the switches get a little bit noisy. Let's take a look at just some of the basic settings that we have going on here before I start the vehicle. So you can see that you have red audio or blue audio. I prefer to keep mine in the red because this indicates the sample rate. Now, the redder the sample rate, the more quality of the audio you'll get in your final audio engineering production that you're making. This is the noise reduction selector switch, and you kind of want to aim it based on what's going on, where you're going to try and eliminate the noise from. So like in this case, I'm going to try and eliminate the noise from wind outside. As you can see out the window, it's pretty breezy. So I'm going to set it to wind noise reduction. And then I'm just going to go ahead and pull this over to the left. This one, we won't get into it. I like to keep it on the left, which is recirculate. That's more of just a comfort kind of thing. Again, I want to stress that you don't have to have a 1995 model. This is just what I prefer. I found I really like the tone that I can get from it. But if you can, do get a bed cover. Because there's a lot of resonance that can happen through the bed of the truck, and you're just a lot better off with the cover, and it keeps rain out of the truck and everything too. So that is my setup. This cable is bi-directional, so you only need to run one cable, which is good. If you're going to purchase one, make sure you get a bi-directional high visibility audio cable and one that's rated for outdoors, unless you want to keep your truck inside. So now that we're back in the studio, let's talk about what we need to do with the audio that we're now creating and producing. So once you have the Takuma hooked up, then you need to hook it up to your digital audio electronic workstation. Remember, whatever vehicle you're using is your digital audio workstation, but what's on your computer is your digital audio electronic environment workstation, or DAEW, D-A-E-E-W, DAEW. You're going to go to your digital audio electronic environment workspace, or DAEW. Once you get there, you need to go up to Edit, Audio Hardware Setup, and then under Audio Driver, click this little drop-down arrow, and you're going to select Toyota Takuma from the list right there. And you're all set. Thank you for watching. My name is Mason. I'm the Principal Audio Production Engineering Resources Administrative Service Supervisor for the Scavengers Network, and I hope you have a great day. I can't wait to see what you make.